Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing some highlighting and contouring using cream colors. Before we get started, I just wanted to let you know that everybody's face is a little bit different. So of course the placement where I put my products is going to be different for me than it would be for you. So this is just an overview of how I do highlighting and contouring. But once you know the basics, you should have a good idea of where your darker color and lighter colors are going to go. So here we are. Enjoy! So the first thing I'm going to do is start off with my highlighter. So I am using the Maybelline New York concealer stick, and it's in the color Fair. So this is one of the lightest shades that they had, and all I'm going to be doing, just looking in my little mirror here, all I'm going to be doing is focusing that right underneath the eye, up on top of the cheekbone, and then following it down. So right down. So you're covering a good portion of the under eye area. Now, a little thing that I love with this, a little trick, is that usually when people even just do their concealer, they just focus it right underneath the eye. It looks a lot more natural if you actually bring your concealer further down. The reason why it looks more natural is because you're not just going to have a light circle all around the eye. It's just going to fade really nicely into the rest of the skin, and you're not going to be able to really tell where it stops and where it begins. And so I really like that. It just looks more natural. So we're going to do the same on the other side, right underneath the eye, down along the sides of the nose, and up. Perfect. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to highlight just the center of the forehead. If you have a smaller forehead and you would want the forehead to look a little larger, you're obviously going to use more highlighting in the center of the forehead, because that's going to make it look larger because the color is brighter. For myself, I have a good sized forehead, and so I'm just going to put the highlight, I'm going to concentrate it more just close to the brows, a little bit in the center, but I'm not going to go very far out. So I have my little highlight there. I'm also going to highlight, I like to highlight right down the bridge of the nose, the Cupid's bow. I'll just do right up here. A bit on the chin. And then we will do a little bit underneath, just above the jawline in here, just so when we do that contour color, it's going to have something else to blend into, and so the coloring won't be off. It'll just be a really nice gradient from the light to dark to light. So a little bit on that side too. With this, it can be a little bit messy. It doesn't have to be super crazy precise. We're going to be blending it all in anyway, so you can have a little fun with it. I like to also highlight just above my brow bone and just also underneath my brow bone. This just helps to clean up around the eyebrow area as well, so your eyebrows will look a little bit more defined, and also because we're putting it underneath as well as above the arches, it just kind of brings the attention to how high up your arches are. So they just look really, your eyebrows will look really lifted. Okay, highlighting done. Simple. So again, just pop your highlight anywhere on your face that you really want to bring forward, highlight, show off. That's this one here. Okay guys, so next what I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking this color here, and this is MAC Cosmetics Coffee Walnut. It is a cream color as well, and so one of the reasons why I love using the cream colors is just because they blend really nicely into the skin. So powders, I do find sometimes will just kind of sit on top of the skin, whereas a cream really blends in. And so when you're using such light colors and dark colors on your skin, you do want it to blend in really nicely. I do also recommend using matte colors for both the highlight and the shadow. More importantly for the shadow, just because you want it to look as natural as possible, the highlight you can have something that has a little bit of shine to it. So next what I'm going to do is I'm taking just a small fluffy brush here, and I'm just going to start on my forehead, and I'm just kind of lining around my hairline. Again, this will make the forehead look smaller. And then I'm gonna go into the hollows of my cheek. So a really good method for this is to actually go from the top of your ear, measure from the top of your ear down to your mouth. So in this area is where we're gonna do our shadow. Another trick with this is you don't want to go any further than the eye. So for example, if I'm putting my contour here, starting here, you don't want to bring it all the way to the mouth. And the reason why is it's gonna look really dramatic and really unnatural. Not many people will have a natural contour that goes from here all the way to their mouth. So all we're gonna do, I'll show you here, go from the top of the ear, and we're just going to slide it down. So you can see I didn't go any further than my eye, and we're just keeping it in the hollows here. So as you probably noticed, it's a pretty harsh contour we've done here. Doesn't look very natural, but I'll show you what we'll do after. I promise you, it will be okay. So next we're going to go on the other side here. Same thing, starting from the top of my ear and following down to my mouth. So I'm just going to start here. So next I'm going to take it underneath my jawline here. So just where your natural jawline is, I'm just going over that. Next what we're going to do is do the nose. So for myself, I do have like a wider bridge of the nose, and so what I'm actually going to do, just on the sides here, is just kind of go along the side of the highlight. A little bit underneath as well. So once you're happy with your placement for your highlight and contour, this is my favorite part. We're gonna take a beauty blender, and so this is a little sponge you can buy. This isn't the actual beauty blender brand, it's from Quo. It's a couple dollars at my local Shoppers, and so we're gonna blend it in. So the trick with blending it in is just making sure that when you blend it in, you're not sweeping it so much. You really want to keep the color in place. And so we're going to be doing that by just pressing. So just up and down motions, and just pressing the product into the skin. I like to do my highlights first, just because they're a lighter color. And so instead of getting dark all over this and then going over my highlights and making the color look really muddy, I'm going to start with the highlights. Okay, so we got most of our highlights done. And done. Highlights are done. So the next thing that we're going to do is take our beauty blender or a sponge thingy, and we're going to start with the contour. So again, same thing. We're just going to start tapping this into the lighter colors. For my contour, when I'm blending it, I do like to blend it almost into a curved line, just around my natural cheekbone. So everybody has this ball here, your cheekbone, and so all you're gonna do is to make it a little bit more defined, is instead of just going straight down, you're actually gonna take it straight down and just slightly curve around the ball. This will just define the cheeks a little bit more. And make them really pop. Under here as well. So for underneath the neck, what I like to do is I like to blend the product down. So you're not going to blend it too much into this highlight that you've done. You're actually just going to give it a good blend down the neck. And you really want to blend this out. You don't want to have a harsh line on your jawline. That looks really unnatural. Looking pretty good. So we're going to go back to the cheeks. Again, I like to just smile. I find if you just smile, it really helps to show where your cheekbone is, and then you can get right underneath it just to define it a bit more. Okay, looks good. So we'll move on to the nose. For this, it's the same thing. I'm just going to be taking that product and blending it down. Sometimes I like to use my finger for this part, just in the inner corner here. So you can really get in there. Same on the other side. I do like to finish off my highlight and contour with powders as well, just to really set the cream in place. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to take my brush. This is from Emmabelle Beauty Cosmetics, and this one there is their tapered brush. It's really great for bronzer just because of the way that the brush is formed. It's very precise, and so just lightly sweeping it across the face in the exact same area that you've already done your contour. All we're doing is really setting the powder. So I'm using MAC Cosmetics Matte Brown. This has no shine or shimmer in it. Again, with the contour color, you want to keep it very natural and very shadow-like, so nothing with shine or shimmer. Next, I'm going to be taking my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte. So I'm just going to press this into the areas that we've already done the highlight. Again, this just sets the cream into place, making sure that it doesn't move around. So because my face looks quite matte right now, as you can see, there's not too much shine to it. Personally, I do like a little bit of shine to my face. Not like an oily shine, but again, just that highlighted look. And so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking my Emmabelle angled brush, and I'm going to be taking a little bit of MAC's Whisper of Guilt. This is a really beautiful highlighting shade. It's not, I wouldn't say it's any lighter than my skin tone, but it is going to add a really nice glow. And I'm just going to take that on top of the cheekbone. Do a little bit underneath the cheek, or underneath the eyebrow. You want to be very careful about the placement of this. It depends how shiny or glowy you want to look. You could definitely do some on the forehead, down the nose, in any other areas that you would want that. Personally, I find that I get quite oily throughout the day, and so I get a natural shine on my forehead, down the nose, kind of the T-zone area, and so I'm very careful about not placing shiny products there because I know I will get that throughout the day. So I'm just putting them in areas that when the light hits it, it's just going to kind of give that illusion of higher cheekbones, higher brow bones, and look, it really makes the skin look really healthy too, really glowy, kind of that sun-kissed glowy look. I am wearing pink lips, so I thought I'd pop a little bit of pink blush. And for placement for this, so this is a powder, and all I'm going to do is smile, and you see where the balls of the cheeks are there? I'm just going to lightly brush on them and kind of just patting it and lightly fading it into the rest of the contour. So here we go. Same thing on this side. So just patting it on the ball of the cheek, I'm blending it out. Perfect. So this is the finished look using cream colors to highlight and contour the face. If you have any other questions or any other videos that you'd like to see, please comment down below and I'd be happy to help you. Until next time, thanks guys.